How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to another instant analysis. This time for the new party banner with Party Hanayo and Colorful Dreams, Colorful Smiles, Shizuku. We're gonna start with Shizuku. She's kind of a run-of-the-mill SR filler. Stats are not amazing. 62, 72, 58, 54, and 87, 82 at max limit break. Gauge fill is maximum of 7% with a 30% activation rate. Passive kind of sucks. It's a 2.2% technique boost to all cards. Don't really like it. She does have the guaranteed stam fill on gauge usage, but it's only 3% of her technique. So if you extrapolate this particular number out that, Kirara gives us here at 87, 82, and if you multiply that by 3%, this heal is only 263 stamina for every time you use your gauge. So, definitely costume filler, Dreamlight Parade type card. Not anything you really need to worry about. And the same can be said for the party card. Party Hanayo or Party Pana. Party Pana is a pure attribute voltage type card. At max limit break, stats are 14,692. Stamina is 8,540. Technique is 10,934. And this stat line, we will come back to. We will come back to this stat line. Her kit it's okay. It's a voltage boost tab active, 42% at max limit break. Passive is terrible. Passive is a 5.2% appeal increase with a maximum 2.6% stamina increase to all cards at max limit break. Her live show active is a guaranteed 2% voltage gain to other pure attribute cards. So your pure attributes cards will score 2% more voltage than normal. And the reason why, ever since last night, I've been very much so poo-pooing this card, if you're in the Discord, and such, is because this card is very, very underwhelming. Especially when you compare it to the pure attribute card pool we have now. Now, before, a long time ago, the pure attribute voltage pool used to basically only consist of First Fest Yo, First Fest Chica, and those are basically the only two usable pure attribute voltage type cards. But now we have a ton. And if we were to take the baseline of not even 14,000 base appeal, let's go all the way down to 13,000 base appeal, okay? Of all of the cards in the game, Party Pana does have the highest base appeal. However, her stat spread is a lot worse than, say, something like Third Fest Kotori. The other thing, when you compare it to Third Fest Kotori, right, they have the same tap actives, but here's the thing. Third Fest Kotori has an infinitely better passive. Infinitely better passive. The worst type of hybrid passives I think that you can get. Well, this is the second worst hybrid passive that you can get. Appeal with a priority on appeal and then a side stamina buff. Every other limited pure attribute voltage type card that has come out in the last year all has a better passive than what Hanayo has. If we look at Kotori, same strategy, 7% appeal boost, 3.5% technique boost. Technique is much, much more important because what does technique give you, right? Technique gives you an increased crit rate. And especially for cards like this, you're never going to use these cards on voltage rankings for item exchange events like we just completed. You're going to be using these cards for stuff like Advance Plus. And to be perfectly honest, even with something like the new Angelic Angel Advance Plus and the Pure Attribute, Kotori is a better card. Ayumu is a better card, right? Kotori and Ayumu are basically almost the same card. Tap active and passives match, just that the live show actives are different, and Kotori has slightly higher appeal, but a lot lower technique. Dreamy Kids Land Rena is much better, especially if you're using her in conjunction with, let's say, Second Fest Ayumu, right? With her tap active giving a 10% voltage gain for the next 3 notes for all Niji cards. I mean, it does kind of pigeonhole you into Niji cards, but cards that have voltage gain and appeal increase are a lot better for Advance Plus, which is where you're going to be using these cards most of the time. And again, with the passive thing for limited cards, look at Second Fest Mari. Second Fest Mari has the same passive as Third Fest Koto and Second Fest Ayumu, which is a 7% appeal and 3.5% technique increase for the card's strategy. These passives, when you factor them in to their base appeal values, right? If you were to add, right? If you were to give all of these cards their passives, Pana is like the 4th best limited card. She falls behind Mari. She's definitely behind Kotori. She's definitely behind Ayumu. She's barely ahead of First Fest Chica, which is kind of depressing, to be perfectly honest. And then you go down here. Like, the only card that doesn't have a better passive, like limited cards that have come out like relatively recently, is Second Fest Nico, because she only has a 5.2% appeal increase to other pure cards. But she has a voltage gain tap active, which again is a lot better for Advance Plus stuff than it would be for Advance, and the only time you're using these types of cards are for Advance Plus. Even Party Lanzu, as much as I kind of disliked Party Lanzu having basically 1200, right? 14,692 compared to 13,464. Lanzu having basically 1200 less base appeal is offset by her combination of tap active, which is a maximum 8.2% voltage gain increase for the next 5 notes in her strategy, and a 5.2% appeal increase and 2.6% technique increase for all cards. The combination of these two basically offsets Hanayo's stat advantage, kind of significantly. And even something like Tanabata Riko, right? Tanabata Riko has a 6.2% voltage gain increase for the next 5 notes, doesn't matter what card it is, and a 5.2% appeal increase for other pure cards. And she gets a 15% voltage increase during all appeal chances. And so the reason why I pull this up, this is a maximum, and you can search this up on Kirara. I searched by URs in the pure attribute voltage type, max appeal greater than 13,000, and I've sorted by appeal going highest to lowest. Out of these 11 cards, as far as usability goes, this Hanayo is definitely in the bottom half. And this is assuming, right? All of your bond levels, for some reason, all of your bond levels are equal. All of your bond boards are equal for all of these girls. I would put this Party Hanayo in the bottom half of this particular requirement. And even for the tippy top Pana Oshis, I still don't think like the perceived advantage that you would get from having to pull for this card is probably going to be offset by the amount of gems you have to whale for this card. I would much rather get any of these 1, 2, 3 fest cards right here. I would much rather have a Max Limit Break Dreamy Kids Land Arena. And, you know, the problem with this particular party card, kind of as a whole, is that when you have party cards that can be outshined by permanent cards, that's a problem. That's a problem when it comes to the strength of the card. And I know that party cards are supposed to be, you know, scale really quick early and then kind of taper off. But even with that, this party Hanayo is just, it's not great. It's not great. And if you want to pull on the party banner, you want to do your daily pulls because you're missing party cards, that's fine. But I would much rather save for a better limited card. You know, we have, 2.5 anniversary live stream coming up on the weekend. So we should be getting some stuff for that. We also have the JP 3rd anniversary, which is coming up in a couple months. And I would much rather save gems for both of those instances than spend for this Hanayo. It just gets outclassed by too many both limited and permanent cards to warrant spending a lot of gems on it. Now, if you're an Oshi Scouter and you want to get her because the costume's cute, by all means, you're probably going to get bonked if you have, reasons for wanting this card. But honestly, save your gems. The card is pretty weak, and I would much rather you save up for, anything coming up in the future that will probably be better than this card, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, that's it for the instant analysis. The TLDR, this, for me, in my eyes, this banner is a hard skip. The card itself, as a limited card, is like a 4 out of 10. Maybe even a 3 out of 10. Because of all the reasons that I listed earlier. But if you're a new player and you end up with this card, great. This card will take you quite a ways. Especially in the early game. But for those of us that have been playing for, over a year, 2 years, have been playing since the beginning, this card is the definition of meh. Until next time, though, YouTube, come join us over on Twitch, twitch.tv/IamTheShaz. And we'll catch you guys later. Take it easy. Bye.